And welcome back to Hopefully Hour, and we are on day 9 of our Firefly forest build. Quite difficult to say, isn't it, really? This is how far we got. I think this ladder is meant to probably be on this side, and I think the picture is possibly the reflection of the mirror from this part of the build. Maybe, I couldn't swear to it. I think our light, which is what I was doing last, ended up turning out to be okay, although it does have a bit of paper missing on the back of it where it attached to me. You can see there. So I'll get some colouring on there so that it doesn't stand out so much when it goes onto that mirror part. So let's see. So first of all, what we want to do is put the light in. So just put your tweezers through there. This is the green single light that we are popping through here. So let's get that through. Obviously I'm not wiring them up or anything at this stage. I'm just getting it in there. It goes into the ground pretty much so that it just sticks up a little bit from the front here. So I'm just going to pull that a bit more forward. Now eventually, oh gosh, it wanted to go all the way through. Don't want that. We do want it sticking up. So eventually it will have, we're obviously going to wire it in. I shouldn't say obviously, nothing's ever obvious, is it really? Right, so what we want to do is we want to put our table and chairs in that we made, and we also, once I find that again, come back, and we also want to put in our little table that we made, or log type thing. So this is the one where my stool, I lost that part, can't find it. So I think that the light I think they go on this side of it. So I'm just going to put some, I think B7000 for the tables and stools over in this far corner. And we are also putting in, I believe, a plant, I think. A bit difficult to tell on this part, to be honest with you. So I'm going to put the glue down for the table and chairs. And I think a plant is going to go around our bowl, but let's get that done first. Ooh, that's a lovely string there. Okay, so I'm going to put the one that is flat the furthest away so it doesn't really show. Don't see it. Can't tell a thing, right? Oh, so it wants to join me rather than stay where I've told it to go. These model pieces are so disobedient. And then our little table we're going to put in so it nicely reflects in that mirror. And then our other stool. That's never going to work, is it? I don't have that angled at all well. I think my glue has already soaked in. So I don't think we're going to finish today, you never know. We might, but I think we're going to be very close. I'm hoping to get the sides connected, do any other little bits and pieces, because there are some bits and pieces to do before we start on the attic. It's like a little attic room, similar to the Sylvia Gardens, I think it was. It's like the model that just keeps on giving. So our green one really needs to come up a little bit. So next we'll go this, but I think before I do that I'm going to try and get in a piece of green. So I have a feeling it's this one that needs to sneak in there before we put this in. So I'm going to put it in. It is tricky because it doesn't really tell you. It just seems like it appears. And that could be something else, but I think it is one of these. And I bet it'd be half one. I very much doubt there's going to be a whole one because it would stand out too much. So I reckon it's going to be one like this, and you put it in the mirror so that it looks like it's a whole one. That's what I'm going with. Clever, huh? Clever. I don't think it particularly matters which one. Maybe this one. So So I'm not putting glue on where it's going to attach to the mirror. Just do something like so. Not quite so sure how much of that green light we're going to end up seeing. Let's try that again. Off. Plus the fact that the green light keeps wanting to disappear. And then what we do is we pop this one in like so. So I might as well carry on with this now we got it out. So just going to put some on the bottom of it. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure that that green plant is meant to be there, but this definitely needs to be even with the back. So something like so. Can come out a bit more. I don't have the best of view. You've probably got a better view than I do. Hold on. So when you look from the front, it kind of looks like that. It's starting to get late now, so you're not going to get quite the reflection. And from there we need some of the stepping stones coming out from there. So I'm just going to get those put in. Okay, and then what we're going to do is glue the two together. So there is a nook on here. That's where all your wires are going to go down. There's no things to hook in or anything. What I'm going to do, I think, is I have no idea where this wire goes. So I think I'm going to put it in between the log cabin thing that we just put in here. Well, that will help you see, didn't it? This one. So I think I'm going to just pop it in there and see if I can make that work for giving it a little light. And I do think that ladder was meant to also go on here, by the way. I think it was meant to go on here, up to here, but we haven't done that. So I'm thinking if I put it through like that, that will probably work. So let me get some glue and we will get that on. There's nothing to clip together, so it seems quite straightforward. It seems to clip together quite well. Like I say, I'm not sure where this is meant to go. Maybe it's meant to go inside it. Could it go inside it? Would it be the right measurement for it? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, going to get it glued together. Just make sure your wires do go into this catch here, this little notch, and then we'll get it all wired up. Make sure that this is all fitting and it's a nice even fit, and I'm going to get it bracketed too. So let's see. Let's get some wood glue because I am going to be leaving it for quite some time. And what I'm going to do is just get some wood glue here. It does feel like it's going to fit quite well, which is always good news. Just working out where to put that light. So I can I'm thinking I can either put it down the back, down here between this and the mirror, down this side. I just can't get the view right. Down this side between these two. There's a gap here I could slip it into, or I could put it inside the house. And I can't tell from their picture in reality where it's meant to go. In fact, it's like they've lost the wire. They have no idea where their own wire's gone. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to put any wood glue on the mirror. Don't want to try and smear it and stuff. So I'm just going to get that one on here, avoiding obviously when the wires are going to go down, and then I'm going to clamp it together so overnight it can set, and then I will get it all wired up together. Maybe we can put the wire, I'm going to put the wire inside that little hut. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to pop it inside here. I mean, it's paper, it might reflect quite nicely. and then everything else goes down this end. So I just want to see if that wire's gone in there, which it has, and then catch these wires here. And then just clamp it up for the night, and we should be good for tomorrow. And then we can do the rest of the bits. There's a few more bits and pieces we could do inside. So I'll be back in a few hours and we can continue. Okay, so this has had overnight. So let's take these off. Pretty happy, that's pretty good for me. Oh, I can't do it that way. This one's broken, so I kind of put this thing in it in the hope that it would stay together, which it did. There you go. Oh, perhaps I take this one off first. But this is pretty well lined up, so I'm quite happy with that. So the first thing I'm going to do now is actually the electrics. Let's get that out of the way. So, as promised, I am determined to try and hopefully make the other one work. If not, I think we have enough gap here. We can still put the alternative inside. What I'm also going to do, let's see where this is pop this one in a little bit further. Let me see if I can get it in a bit further. You're not even seeing what I'm talking about. Anyway, quite happy with how that's turned out. What I'm trying to do is get the green one in so that it doesn't move too much at the bottom. Alright, so I am going to do a final test on the one that came with it. Not to give up hope here, so I got, although those other batteries were new, now that I've left it because I don't know which is on and which is off, I am going to put those apart in case that they short circuit or something. And it is on. I'm going to put another three batteries in, and this time I will actually put it all together properly, and we deal with these electrics before we do much more. So 3 brand new batteries, and let's get all the greys together. So we have this one that came from the green light, and is this right? Oh, one more. They can all be shortened actually, they're all quite long, but I think we just keep them, they're not terribly long. I've definitely had them that they're a lot longer, so I think we'll keep them reasonable length here. But you could technically cut them and you'd probably be okay. Okay, so together with the grey one from the switchboard. So this one here, out the way white one. It's very keen to get involved. Okay, it's looking right. I am really hoping it's going to work, because then we can complete the model as designed rather than the fact that I'm going to have to alter it. So all the way in with all of the wires. Make sure they go into the hole at the bottom of these wire nuts. I think I showed you that on day 1 of the unboxing when I tested the wires and found out we had a problem. And then do equally the same with the white wires, gather them all up. And so I've got 2 more. So there's only 5 light wires and then the main switchboard, so only 5 in total. I was definitely on the fence as to whether I wanted to use a grey wire nut or a blue one. Difference in the colour is how many wires that they will take. So got them all started. Going to add the main one on, make sure it's clear, and put them together. This is kind of last hope switchboard, last hope. Just put it, wrong one, put it on tight. Try that again. We're saying I don't want to use the great one, and then I go and pick it up. That's about right, isn't it? Twist them all together. And you could tell whether it's working or not as to whether they come off, like it just did. Yeah, trouble on the first day getting this one of them in as well. Don't know what colour that one was. Okay, that's as far as that's going. As far as that's going. Okay, and just checking. As you can see, nada. Okay. Alright, back to square one. Back to use an alternative. You can buy these little boxes, by the way, on Amazon or wherever. You can buy them in several different places. I actually bought 2 spare ones now, so in case I have the problem going forward. So then when you're doing it to one of these, you have grey to black, because I always want to do white to black, because in my head it's very logical, white and black together. But it's grey to black. And again, I'm going to use the blue one. I don't use the blue ones that often, I use the grey ones more. I'm running out of grey ones, I need to put a new order in. And you can just buy grey ones on their own. They're generally for less lights, so they work quite well for a lot of models. This one's only 5. Technically, a grey one might have been okay. Okay, pop this in, and then that's our wiring done. And then it's where I'm going to situate this thing. And I think I'm going to have to use double-sided tape for it, because of changing batteries and stuff. And I may or may not put the bottom plate on. I'll have to see how one feels. Almost there, I think. No, it's not even trying. There's always one. Okay. And then turn it on. Let's see what we have. It's upside down, isn't it? That's not helpful for you guys. And turn it on. And we do have. Oh, now it's upside down. Gosh, I had it right the first time around. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow, that green one's quite bright in the back there, isn't it? That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? So I'm not 100% sure this little light, that it wasn't meant to be hanging down the middle, to be honest with you, but we've got it there, we've got it. You see the little fireflies all on the sides. Very cute. I love that green light, that illuminates so well. Okay, so what am I going to do with this? Alright, back to trying to tidy it all up. So obviously I can fit it in, if I put this on the end here, because it's going to have enough depth that it will still sit flat. However, and I can access, if I put it up this way, I can access the on-off switch fine. So I think what I'm going to do is double-sided tape it, sort all these wires out, because they're all loose, and I'll do that with Bonding. Let me go, oh, I've got Bonding right here, but I don't have double-sided tape, so let me go and get some double-sided. Okay, so it's up to you. You can super glue, you can glue gun the wires into place. I'm going to use Bondic. It means that if I have a problem, I can alleviate it. And I'm just going to use double-sided tape because otherwise I won't be able to change batteries. I can't think of any other way to do it because this slides on the opposite side of where the switch is. I don't need access to both. Whew, wore myself out going to get the double-sided tape. You'd think my house was huge. It's really not. Not a box, but you know, nevertheless, not that huge. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that this will still be able to sit. If I do it close enough to this edge, that it still will be able to sit. So something like so. Yeah, that works. Right, now to tidy all this mess up. So we want you. Okay. Right, so I'm tempted to get it done so that we can get this model complete. Don't know that we're going to get it complete today. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, so with Bondic, I'm going to put my first one on here, which is a lot of wires. So this is a real test of my Bondic here. That's all you do with Bondic. Let me get that you can see it. Is put it across all your wires. Make sure you got enough. And like I say, you can super glue, you can glue gun, and then do UV light on it. I can see it hasn't taken in all spots. But enough maybe. A bit more there. Right, I'm going to get and do the rest. That's what I'm going to use, and I'll be back in 2 tips. Alright, that's what I did, was I made sure I didn't put any weld at all on the black in red wire, because if the battery box comes out, then I'm going to need to use it. The battery box is already fallen out, by the way, so I might need to think of an alternative. And then just put a little bit of weld here and there, to make sure the wires are flat so that it sits like so. It just means every time I turn it on, I'm not going to have that switch on the front. I'm just going to have to do it like so. And how pretty does that look? Alright, there's a few other choices we have to make on this build because of that. So, right, I did also work out that I think this tree house, fairy tree, which I had sitting on the roof back here, all the way back there, here, wasn't meant to go there, it was meant to hang from the tree. Pretty sure about that now. So what we now have to do is some decorations at the front, which is going to be front this side. So first things first, we do have our little piece to go in, but before I do that, I want to put a couple of these in before I do that. Like I say, before I do that, I just repeat myself constantly. Get rid of any trash. And I'm just going to stick these on towards the back here. I don't think this is going to work. My ladder's going to work either. I hadn't allowed for the fact that this floor was quite as high as it is at the front. So I'm going to try and make it work. So it'll be 7,000 for the win. And of course you're not going to see anything again. I'll tell you what, maybe I can work it a bit like so. Ooh. So this one, I'm going to have that it bends around, put the glue on the wrong side, but that prints well. I can take my ladder off because I don't think that's something that will work right there. I'll put that there, and then I'm going to put another one at the top here as well, so those big pieces are done. Whoops. Don't come with me. Stay where you are. Try not to get my hair in the way, because I'm having to kind of lean over it to put stuff in so that you can still see. You can see it's not going to want to stay. so. And that just gives a little bit extra there. Then we can we put you in? Is there anything else I want to do at the bottom there? No, I think we're okay. So for this, you want the green on the top, and so maybe across there as well, in here. Got a string. Wants to play with the other dogs, and they're about to go and play. I'll be back. Okay, so as much as I love them playing, and you may, if you heard it, you may not want to hear it. It can be quite loud. They run around all over the furniture and cause chaos. Not destruction, just chaos. So you want one more of these, kind of at the front of it. So let's stick that in. So by that door. So something like a nice string. And kind of like here. So I definitely want that in a bit more. So maybe behind it a little bit. Like so. A little bit of glue there to keep it there. Kind of want it to be a bit more towards the back, not really over that particularly. And she's off. I think she had a play and she'd be all tired. Actually, I think she wants covering. Yeah. She said, yeah. That's what I want. And I realise there's a great big gap here, by the way. While they were playing, I was trying to test more batteries, because it's not a play that involves a human. It's definitely a dog play. And it's like, well, maybe I can test it on another model. It still didn't work. I really would rather use the equipment they give me. Quite a big one, isn't it? I used a smaller one maybe. Okay, and then we are going to use these that we had from before. So one is going to go down the bottom and one's going to go on here. So I think this one can go on the top there. Is there anything else that needs to go on there before I put this on? Because we know how this goes. So something like so, and then one on the bottom as well. It's kind of a bit in the way of the tree, isn't it? Maybe I can have it almost wrapping around the bottom of the thing we just put in. Then I believe there's a purple one. Yes, there is. So the purple one is meant to go on top to the back on it, now that I've done it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it at the bottom to cover up that space down here that I have going on. So put some B7000 on that. I'm going to have it on here. Stay on there. So something like so. And then we have one of these, which is going to go in front of the door. Where would you put it in front of the door? I think I'm going to put it there, along with this little one over here. So let's put this one in first towards the back. this little one up here, like so. Although I do wish, oh, I could probably still do it. Thank you. Not quite sure where it went. Like that. Okay, bear with me. I'm going to cover. Okay, and then it's going to want a little bit of green, like it's coming off the top here. And you could probably put some on here, it's not going to hurt. We're also going to be putting some stones down here and around here. It does say in front of the door, but I don't think we need to put a stone in front of the door. So I'm using the wood glue. So this I want on here. And again, it's kind of going to, where it sticks, it sticks. I'm sure I'm going to be finding this forever around. Oh, so someone definitely needs their brakes done. Okay, and then get a couple of the stones. There's a stone in the pot there. Put that there. I live in a quiet area too. Something like so. There you go. Alright, I'm going to give that a moment. We need to still think about where we're going to put this ladder, so let me have a good look at it and I'll make that decision and we will take it from there. Okay, at this point they will get you to put the side trees on that we've already done, or I've done, and make that light. Then they will deal with the front. So I'm quite happy with how this looks. As far as that little tree goes, I can see it there. As far as that goes, what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to use it on the top part because I can't think where I'd want it on this model whatsoever at the moment. And I'm hoping when I put it on the top that it will make sense. So now I have another decision to make and I'll bring it to you and make the decision. Hold on. That battery box has fallen out again. Just go back there a moment. So I can put this on like so, so it's green, or what they want you to do is put this on. Actually, I know why they do. No, actually that isn't why they do. Now the dog's going to bark, 1 sec. No, I thought they would with the postman, but they did not. So it'd be something like so, and keep it green rather than do this colour. And I'm inclined to do that. I think I'm just going to keep this green. I don't think I'm going to make it the cream colour that they have, even though the sides will be cream. So next is to do the sides. Actually, it's to put the front on. That's the next part. So I'll get this front on. I don't have brackets long enough to do this, so I'm just going to use some wood glue. Battery box, you're going to get damaged if you keep falling on me. I'm going to have to work a solution for that. So something like so. I want to make sure that this is well hidden so we don't have an edge, like I can see an edge there, but I think we might just end up having to see that edge. So I'm going to get this glued and then get these sides cut out. We've got 2 sides to cut out and a backing plate, so I'll get that done. I'm also going to start to get ready for the next stage, which is putting this on to the roofing panel, and also putting these on, which really I could do before I put this on, because they go on the corners here. I think I'll do that as well, although I wish it was a better green, more matching. Anyway, I'm going to put these two in and then put it on, get all these cut out ready to rock and roll. I'll be back in a tickety-boo. Okay, so what I have done is I have stuck these corners on. Haven't got this on the model yet. I did start to put glue on. I'm going to use some beacon for this, and on here we have a little glass plate, and I'm just going to get that going. We only have one of these, even though we've got two pieces the same. Questions we have to say. Why? I don't know the answer. So just going to pop some probably beacon, as I'm going to have the beacon out. So let me get those done, and then I'll get these other pieces cut out. Okay, those are all done. Then I got caught on the phone forever and a day. So I put the plastic on here. Gonna need a little bit of trimming. It's kind of just the size of the plastic really. So I'm gonna get that trimmed. In the meantime, this one is now ready to go on. So I'm gonna get that on. And this is ready to go on the roof. I'm gonna probably want to wait till this dries. That battery box definitely doesn't want to stay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on, and because I don't really have a way of clamping it, I'm going to use, I think, some masking tape, which I haven't even brought with. So let's first of all get the wood glue down. I did get those in, I think I told you that anyway. So I'm going to get some wood glue all up here. Probably should just use the bottle one I'm using so much in reality, but here we are. And it's up to you. You could just put it on the frame too, rather than on, you know, like this piece, rather than on here. Not that you're seeing me do it now anyway. And then I'm inclined to get the paper on before we do much else, and that will help it keep down. Feels like it's a little bit on the bow side, not 100% sitting. Like this pops up, it's on quite well on here, but then it pops up at the top. But I can't see anything I could clamp this to, with the fact that the type of clamps that I have. So let me put some masking tape on this, leave it for about 10 minutes, and we'll come back and put the paper on the walls, which I have scored all ready to go. It does kind of have a line on a bit of it, not all of it, and we'll get those done. And like I said, I decided not to put paper on the front of this. I don't think it's necessary. Alright, be back. Okay, while that's taken, and all I've done is turn it upside down and let the weight of the model sit on that base, is I took this piece which goes on the bottom to hide your wires, and cut off a line, which then split, as you can see, sanded it down, and what I'm going to do is put that on the bottom here, like so, so that it's enough that I can get the battery out while being able to still keep it sealed in there. So I'm going to put this in without creasing all the paper, which I've done over here. So I'm going to get that done, and that means I'll be able to access the battery still, just and it shouldn't keep falling out like it is right now. So let me get and do that, and we'll let everything just sit there for the moment, and we will be back to put the sides on. Okay, I think it's had long enough. So that's my little base plate put in. As you can see, it just holds in this battery, so I should still be able to get it out to change batteries if needed. So on this side, we have two of these. I have scored where they are going to go around like the back here. Yes, that's the right way. I'm trying to see now what I'm doing. Okay, yes, around the back. Gosh, directions. And just make sure that I have them on the right sides. Don't think I can go too far wrong. This one needs to go like so and around there. So just look for where your line is. So I've got a line here and I got one on the top as well, like so. So let's get these on. Take some of this, and you want it all over the edge of this green as well. And even if you had covered this piece, instead of having it green, you still go over this edge. It doesn't make any difference to that whatsoever. And then you do both sides, and then I'm not going to do the top just yet. I'm not even going to do the back just yet, but I will get to the back. Actually, I will do the back. Oh, very squidgy. Not put the back piece on. What I mean is the flaps going down into it. I will do. And I guess therefore I will also do the top. And my glue is being very squidgy right now. Don't want it dropping on the model. Okay. Thank you, glue. You've made the right mess. You can't see it, but it's like got this whole train going, because as much as my glue didn't want to give its all yesterday, it certainly did today. So I'm just gonna get that glued. Not so worried about the back there. Okay. But I don't particularly want it all on the top like that, so you want to be even at the front and the bottom. And push it down. Where's the key? There it is. Get your squidgy. Side and the top. Oh, don't do that. Don't push too hard, especially if you haven't allowed it to dry, otherwise it, funny enough, doesn't like it. So I am going to do a slight cut near this wire because I know what's going to be coming. That's it, it's a bit nerve-wracking to do that, because I don't want to go through the wire either. So just making sure everything's down, and then we're going to turn it over and do the same on the other side. A bit well squidgy on top there. Just too much glue came out. Okay, then we're going to do the same on this piece. So maybe it'll be still in the giving mode. Not as much. Not as much as it was anyway. Gosh, put my hand straight in it. It's very unhelpful. Just gonna, oh, now it's really is coming out. Don't need quite so much around the back there. And then we come to do the top, so make sure you get your edges. It's the most important. Now we have some squidgy pieces here. This glue's being odd. I think it's because it's getting low, and sometimes it's obviously very thick and sometimes it's very giving. And then pop this one on here, so even at the bottom. Just don't press down with beacon until you're pretty certain you've got it where you want it. Okay, and then on the top, just go along the edge. Same with this. As much as it was the land of giving of the glue, the back here doesn't want to stick as well as the others. Got glue all over me. Okay. And again, once you're happy, and if it does get on your scraper, whether it's a credit card you're using or one of these, just scrape it off, otherwise it will get onto your paper. And then we'll put this one on the back here, which is this one. It took me a moment to read what it said, by the way. Fantasy Forest. It gave me a different name just to confuse me. And I'm just going to put a bit of glue under this piece on the back here as well, because it didn't stick so well. I can go along here. It's got green in it. Nice. Don't want green. Got a few bits of green going down. Go along. Down this edge too, along the bottom. And then I'll just have to come back and do that top part. I couldn't swear 100% that I scored this part going to go in either. Okay. And then this will all be done, and all we will have left is the top part. I'm dealing with that. So what I'm going to be doing is probably slightly different. Not only you do what they tell you to do, decoration wise, is if I've got loads of leftovers, maybe this is why I never have leftovers of plants and things, is I'm just going to put them in if it makes sense to do so. However, things like this, I have plenty over, and my stones, I think I've already put them away, loads over. And remember when I did the hanging garden, I didn't have enough stones. This is the types of models that you have where you can save them, basically, because when you get models that don't have enough stones or don't have enough grass, you hopefully will have some over from a model like so. And then just get this going down, because the piece that goes on top of here, which is this one here, it sits inside, it does not sit outside, and we will put that on. So the bigger piece goes towards the back, and I need to move my tree a little bit here, and it just slips in there. So I'm going to get some of this. I have glue everywhere to get this in, and then it can sit there and wait, and then tomorrow we can get everything finished off. Just making sure that I'm putting this roof on the right way. I'm pretty sure it's got to have the thicker part towards the back. Yeah. So let's put enough glue on all the way around. Which my wood glue really is saying no right now. Almost want to take the cap off and give it a really good squeeze. Okay, and then the only one that's going to really get in the way is this little one here. I'm just going to push that forward so I can get this down inside. There we go, all in. So it looks like so on top. So there's a little gap on this side, it dropped down a bit too far. Push that up a bit. push this side down a bit more, put some weight on this. Obviously I'm not going to be able to turn it on the side like I could the other one. Ooh, might need to secure that tree again. I think I knocked it. Yes, definitely knocked. And get this again, can't really clamp it, but I can probably put tape on it, and that's what I'll do. And I'll get this secured back in there along with our little light here. Okay, all right, so that is okay. That's where we're going to leave it for today. I will sort that tree out, make sure that this is flat at the back, get that taped in there to hold it in properly. But this is what we are looking like. I actually think that looks pretty fantastic, to be honest with you. I love the green. I can only imagine how much better that's going to look at night. We've sorted our wiring out. This is debatable how I'm going to deal with that. Don't 100% know yet, but obviously I decided to leave the front of this green rather than this colour there, and I actually think it looks really good. I think it looks quite nice actually. And then I'll suddenly find out, oh, I needed to do it, but hopefully not. I've got glue everywhere, sorry about that. Anyway, this is how we are looking at tomorrow. We are going to sort out this roof. We'll be building decor on there. Like I say, I'm probably going to use a little bit more than they say with some of the plants, because the bit I've seen of what they've done, it looks very rare. There's a few other little bits and pieces we need to do as well around the frame and just on the inside, like some butterflies and things like that. So need to do that. Don't like this. Going to get something over this as well so it doesn't show. And that's where we are. So any comments are very much appreciated. Please do like and subscribe, and I will get back to any comments. Gosh, I'm all over the show, aren't I? Anyway, most of all, take care of yourselves. I will see you for day 10 when we will definitely finish this. Take care, guys. Bye bye.